Prepositions, small little words that give us nightmares. Yes, let's study them today. Complex prepositions. So I have them on the left side of our chart and examples on the right side of our chart. Let's read them. Ahead of. Houston is going to win this race. He's ahead of the other runners. Away from. The cat ran away from the dangerous dog. Close to. I don't need to commute to work every day. The office is very close to my house. In between. The Irish Sea is in between Ireland and Britain. In front of. The dog ran in front of the car and was nearly killed. Near to. There is a gym near to my office, which is really convenient. It's just a 5-minute walk. Next to. Who's that man standing next to your car? And on top of. I dream of standing on top of Mount Everest. Ooh, I don't. It's too cold. Let's talk about each one of those prepositions separately. Our first one, ahead of. Ahead of means in front of someone or something. And then we have away from, which is to get distance from something or someone. So away from, which is to get distance from something or someone. We also have close to. Close to means near, so they are both synonyms, near to and close to. The next one we have is in between. In between is between, between two things, one thing here, one thing there, between. In front of, which is a synonym for ahead of, near to, a synonym to close to, next to means by your side. So my books are next to me here, not there, here. And on top of, oh, no, 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 I don't dream of standing on top of Mount Everest, but on top of the world. Out of, he took a cigarette out of the pack and smoked it. Outside of, there is a large forest outside of my town. Prior to, which is formal, I'd never spoken to an Italian prior to meeting him. Up to, the present perfect tense describes a situation that started in the past and continues up to now. Talking about each one of those last prepositions we have out of. Out of means out, not in, so they are opposites. We usually use this preposition when we take something out of something. So I took my card out of my wallet. Outside of. Outside of means to the outer part. So I could come to you and say, outside of my house, there is a garden. Outside of my house, there are many dogs. Then we have prior to, which is formal, but also means before. I'd never spoken to an Italian before meeting him, prior to meeting him. Just be careful because with this formal preposition, you have to use to and the ing to the following verb. So I'd never spoken to an Italian prior to meeting him means I'd never spoken to an Italian before meeting him, this Italian guy. And then we have up to, until this point, until this moment. This is what it means. And then we use up to with that idea. Yes, let's put that into practice. So I have all of them ahead of, away from, in between, in front of, near to, next to, on top of, out of, prior to, and up to. And your job is to complete our beautiful sentences with each one of them. And here follows our answers. So number 1, there is a cat sitting on top of the garage. Can you get up there and make it leave? 2, where's the mouse? It was next to or in front of the keyboard, but I don't see it anymore. The police car stopped in front of or next to the driver to make him stop. Take your hands out of your pockets and help me. Did you learn any Italian prior to moving to Italy? I found a note in between the cover and the first page of the book. You don't need to take the bus. The cafe is very near to my house. The fire was very hot, so we tried to stand away from the flames. Right now, Julia is ahead of me, but I still have a chance to reach her. The business was very successful up to 2010. After that year, profits started to fall. Notes. In our number 7, we also could use you don't need to take the bus. The cafe is very close to my house. Synonyms. Now, student, that you listen to all of those examples, I am waiting for you to create your 10 sentences with each one of those prepositions, and also those ones from the chart above. Download the PDF so it's easier for you to follow the exercises.
Prior to the attack.
Prior to the ceremony.
So, out of cage! Out of cage!
Next to Bobby, but then next to Brittany and Jennifer, next to Nadja.
Lies on top of lies on top of lies.
Something in between.
Get away from me!
Go ahead.
On our following table, we have according to. According to John, Michael is very rich. According to Elena, he has lots of debt. You can trust Elena. Along with, we needed a bigger group to enter the club, so we decided to bring Kate along with us. Apart from the salty soup, the meal was really good, as well as if you telephone as well as write, you get your message for sure. Because of. Sam was dismissed from his job because of his bad behavior. Due to. Temperatures are rising due to global warming. Yes, there is more. But before we go to the next complex prepositions, let's talk about each one of those. According to John, according to means as stated by, as said by someone. So, as stated by John, Michael is very rich. Along with means with. So, we decided to bring Kate with us, together with us. Apart from means except for. Except for the salty soup, the meal was really good. As well as, which means also or in addition. So if you telephone and also write, you get your message for sure. Because of means as a result of. So Sam was dismissed from his job as a result of his bad behavior, because of his bad behavior. And due to. Synonym of because of. So temperatures are rising because of global warming, due to global warming. And the last ones of today's lesson are except for. Everybody was at the party except for Dean, who was not invited. In addition to Russia, 2 countries are bigger than the United States, China and Canada. In case of fire, leave the building immediately. In spite of their differences, Joe and Michael are good friends. Instead of, Peter doesn't like alcohol, so he ordered a juice instead of a beer. Thanks to Angela, we managed to find the right street. With regard to, which is formal, I'd like to speak to you with regard to the work you did for me. Except for is with exception of. So everybody at the party was invited except for, with exception for Dean. He was not invited, but all of the others were. In addition is a synonym for as well as. So, as well as Russia, two countries are bigger than the United States. Just like Russia, two other countries are bigger than than the United States. In case of, if this happens, if fire happens, leave the building immediately. In spite of, this preposition is used before a surprising fact or something unpleasant, something not good is happening, but this other thing is happening. So Joe and Michael, they have their differences, which is something unpleasant, but in spite of that, they are friends. They like each other and they get along. Instead of, in place of. So Peter doesn't drink alcohol, so he ordered a juice in place of a beer. Thanks to, well, we say thank you, but thanks to you, student, I like to teach English because I know you are a good student. Thank you. So whenever you say thanks to someone, thanks to my mother, I became a teacher. Thanks to a great teacher I had, I became a teacher. With regard to, which is a very formal way to say about. I'd like to speak to you about the work you did for me, with regard to the work you did for me. So that's why it's formal. Student, now that I've ended the presentation to the prepositions, it is really important that you practice, practice, practice. So grab all of those prepositions I showed to you today and write your examples with it. Use those sentences presented as an example for you to create your ones. And now let's practice these last ones. And in this exercise, you already know what to do. We have the collocations with their prepositions in blue, and you should complete sentences from 1 to 10. Before you complete them, read so you understand what the topic is about. See you soon. Hello there. So let's go to our correction. Number 1, Tom's going to be promoted because of his hard work. I also added here in green, it's synonym, due to. So Tom is going to be promoted due to his hard work. 2, everybody went to bed early except for Jenny, who decided to watch YouTube videos all night. 3, Philip decided to go out for a walk in spite of the freezing weather. So it was very cold, but he just decided to go anyways. 4, the teacher spoke to Jack's parents with regard to their son's performance at school. Remember, with regard to, it is formal, so you could replace it with about. The teacher spoke to Jack's parents about their son's performance at school. 5, I'm good friends with your new boss. You only got the job thanks to me. You should use olive oil instead of butter. It's healthier. Don't use butter. Use olive oil instead. 7, if you want to improve the taste of your dish, you should use pepper as well as salt. The more spices, the better. 8, only couples are allowed at the party, so take Emma along with you. 9, it's going to be a sunny day today, according to the forecast. And 10, I'm traveling this week, but you can call me in case of a problem. As I mentioned before, do your own sentences using those ones as examples, because this way you're going to memorize those collocations, prepositions, and expressions.
With regards to your proposal, I've spoken.
Regard to romantic relationships.
I'm here. Thanks to you.
Words instead of women, darkies instead of coloreds.
Love instead of hate, Ernest.
In spite of excruciating pain.
Like it's in spite of race, or in spite of race.
Only in case of emergency.
Case of turbulence.
There's aliens in addition to this.
This piece is due to and only due to.
As well as funny.
Store apart from the competition.
But we'll be taking this along with us.
According to my mom, Polly doesn't have a laptop, but...
Well, and to help you, an exercise. You were going to create 10 sentences with 10 of those prepositions I presented from the entire lesson. Create 5 true sentences and 5 false sentences and send them to me because I have to tell you what are the true sentences and the false ones. Okay? I will be waiting for your sentences and questions and phrases and statements. So please upload them to your online classroom. And for now, watch those short videos to put the prepositions into practice. See you next class.